Dee, we're live.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How are you?
Not too bad. We need to do our intro, my friend. We need to do the intro. I don't think we've got anyone watching, Alex. I think it's just a random. Can you hear some echo there, Alex? Was that me or was that you? Hold on, it's my phone, mate. One second.
That was you.
Hello? I'm going to put the headset on, mate. Bear with me.
Should be all right now, Dee. You there? I had two screens open. It's all right. No, that was my
Fantastic.
fault. That was my fault.
Can you hear me?
I had two screens open. I'm eating these Haribos. Haribos dorare.
Alex,
No.
the echo's you, mate, because we've got two. You can tell we've been drinking tonight.
No, I've not been drinking. You have. I've got no echo.
Okay, no, my mistake. I think it's the drink talking. I'm
No,
just trying to recover with.
Open.
Right, okay.
Ella Nicolamo.
We've got Ed, we've got Nicola. He has to feel. Happy New Year, everybody watching. This is a random. Yeah, of course, Alex. I've got kids, haven't I? How can I not have the good old Haribo? What have you been up to, Alex? What's been happening?
I've just been relaxing today. I took my son out for bouncy castle, and then we went for sushi. We went for coffee. Had about 2 or 3 double espressos, and now I've got a roghetto that I've got to glue.
Roghetto.
A proper rocket for my son.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm waiting for my present from you. It's my birthday on the 4th of January.
So what are we doing for the 4th of January? Are you going to be? Is it going to be the big 4-0?
Yeah, 40 there. 40. I can't believe it.
You're getting old, Alex. You're getting old, mate.
No.
Not long until you retire from the watchmaking game. I'm just going to post to get a few more people on here, Alex. 1 second, because no one knows we're live at the moment.
Jay's here.
I'm going to post on my Instagram. So who have we got watching so far?
Al Muscola. Muscola. Where's that name from, Muscola?
I've been heavily drinking anyway, Alex, just to give you a heads up. You saw earlier my little video clip to everybody on Instagram. Hope you guys have a lovely new year. It's been a bit of a grafter's year, but a lot of things have happened this year, positive as well. I think the good outweighed the bad, that's for sure. But it's been great with the events, the collaborations, the brands. I became a brand ambassador as well. I never expected that, you know, but
which is good.
Yeah, news. Onwards and upwards. That's what I would say. It's looking very positive indeed. How about yourself? What's any New Year's resolutions, Alex?
Stop eating these Haribos. I've got a whole jar with Greek treats written on it with all these Haribos. You know what it's like when you have kids. There's always that drawer, isn't there, that you open and it's just full.
I'm gonna surprise you with something. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna show you what my son got for Christmas. So if I want to eat any sweets, I have to pay and I have to win them as well. I'll be back in literally 5 seconds. Yeah, bear with me.
Yeah. Where's he gone? Let me see who's on. So we've got Jerry's Time Watches, got the alert on the phone, afternoon, Jerry's Time Watches. Haribos are just too good. Oh, I love these ones, these strawberry ones. Beautiful, beautiful eyes. Once you have one pack, you want more. You can't stop. It's like Pringles. Moscolas. Ed, Yep, I'm home alone on New Year's Eve. Ed's home alone on New Year's Eve, eh?
There you go, Alex. Look.
Yeah, you'll
I have to
be.
pay to buy the own candy that I bought my son. His candy machine. You
When
know
you're
what I
going
mean?
to see tonight, you're going to be raiding that.
Oh, tonight. Well, look, there's a little hole that I can access anyway. Let me just shut my door.
Fat says I'm 50, right? Beinda.
So, Alex, I can see you're wearing a new watch, my friend. For
Yeah,
those of you that aren't aware, Alex is not watching the IWC Big Pilot. What's on your wrist, Alex? Do you want to share the story?
got the Submariner, steel and gold subby. And actually, I feel as though it's a bit small on my wristy, but I'm getting used to it. So now what happens is when I wear this and I go back to the IWC is going to be like, "Ah, look at the size of that." But I'm going to sell my IWC. So I think, is it 2013 or 15? I need to check. Box and papers, serviced by IWC, fantastic condition. And I think I'll take about 7 for it. 7,000
Nice.
isn't big money considering what they're going for. And plus, the fact that it's got its IWC warranty still, and it comes on I think it's got 2 straps. There's a 3rd strap, but it's a bit knackered. But yeah, I think I'll take about 7 for it.
7, yeah?
Yeah, I reckon about
Interesting.
7, yeah.
What year is it?
I think it's 2013. I've actually done a video of it on my YouTube, but I'm going to add it to my site because now I'm when I say officially, I've always sold watches, but I've never really shown it on my website. But now I'm going to be selling watches through Perpetual-Time because why not? And the other thing is, I think when you're doing repairs and sales, you have to work on the marginal scheme, and things can get quite tricky with your accountant. You do the marginal scheme, don't you? Do
No,
no,
I don't do watch sale. I don't do that. For me, it's just playing 20% VAT in regards to what I do, Alex.
Well, most probably people know that dealers use the marginal scheme. So the marginal scheme works on you get taxed on the profit you make on the watch. So, if you sell a watch and you make £1,000 profit, then I think it's 16, is it about 16% you get taxed on the profit? So what we're going to talk about?
I'm not being rude. I'm having to respond to all my Greek relatives. What's the time over there now? What is it? Bronya Bolla.
Tell you it's my birthday on the 4th, right?
Want a present.
What are we going to talk about, Dee? Well, by the way, if anyone asks, this is actually my monitor here. I'm not just staring at some. This is actually my monitor. So I'm not staring at something that
does look quite thick, to be fair.
Sana Sena, eh?
Yeah, I did it, Malaga. Well, what's on your wish list for next year? Any particular watches, Alex, on your wish list at the moment?
Do you know I've always liked the that I was actually speaking today of Curly. I was speaking to
Bravo Nick Nicola, 11:30 in Cyprus. No wonder I'm getting the messages coming in. Sorry, Alex, go ahead. Sorry.
Probably like that Breguet Tradition. I really like that piece. I would have one of those. It's a beautiful watch. I've always liked that watch. What about you?
I think next year I'm gonna pull the trigger and get a rose gold Sky Dweller.
Wow,
and that's
really?
the last Rolex I'm gonna get. After
what,
that,
full rose gold?
Yeah, it's gonna be the last one. Yeah, that's gonna be the last Rolex I buy for now.
What, through an AD?
Maybe, yeah. I don't want to jinx it, but
you flexing now, then?
No, I'm not flexing, but I just thought it's time.
Okay.
It's time. It's time to get something. Yasu Malagas from Thomas Burnett. Jump on. Everyone is welcome to jump on. This is not. This is enough. This is just off the cuff, relaxing. My son's quite ill with the flu, so we couldn't go out tonight. He's downstairs with the missus. I've had a few whiskeys, a few beers. I've even had a Malibu and pineapple with the missus as well. So it's been
Malibu. What have I
yeah,
had
yeah.
for ages? Oh, that stuff stinks.
Why? It's just coconut, like rum.
Ah,
Why
it's not
is,
good.
what? And Zivania doesn't stink. And also,
Zivania, no, you can't compare Zivania to Malibu. Listen, Zivania is
I've got
like
a bottle of Zivania downstairs. You know,
Zivania is like in the back of the freezer.
it's sharp. It's sharp.
I don't know. I've
It's
never Malibu. I don't know.
I do love a man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I was a young man, the only when I'm talking about 15, I think the first alcoholic drink I had was a Malibu. Very sad, I know.
No, mine was WKD.
Oh God, I'll tell you what, Alex. I think if our conversation is as quiet as it's tonight, next year it's going to be a pretty bad live stream, mate. Oh God, I'm surprised anyone's joining us tonight. To be fair,
Well, there's a lot of people live streaming at the moment, isn't it? Ocean.
is he? Okay.
Yeah. Who else is?
Don't know. I'm not one for the live streaming, to be fair, but I've been on a few people's live streams of late. That's for sure. Yeah. Look, in regards to Rolex, I think I'm on the waiting list for that watch. Apparently, I've got more of a chance of getting one next year. They said to me by March, so I'm gonna know if I'm gonna get it by March. Basically, the AD said to me. Be interesting what will happen if I try and trade in one of my watches as well in regards to purchasing that
why
case.
don't you try that? Because
See what happens.
I think you should try that. To be
How
honest
did you
with
get
you,
your watch? From the AD, right?
AD, right? AD,
Oi,
your
re.
buying history.
So who did you to suck up to get that? Or they just thought it's Alex, the famous watchmaker?
Well, I actually went to one AD, and I don't forget, I went to one AD and he introduced me to another one of his employees, and he said, "This is Perpetual-Time." And I thought, he didn't even say it was me. He just said, "This is Perpetual-Time," not the guy who's going to know my business. But I have, when I order links for customers, I have gone into a certain AD and I've gave them my name, and then they'll ask me business name. I give a business name, and then they'll say, "Yeah, we follow you on Instagram." And then I wonder sometimes, are they going to be funny with me? But a lot of them have been all right with me. I think it's because I don't mock ADs. I've worked for ADs. I don't give them any problem, because I don't understand why people give ADs such a, do you honestly believe these ADs want to do what they're doing? They're controlled by Rolex. They don't want to say no to you. They have to be very careful because they're protecting their business, and majority of people go to them because they happen to be Rolex ADs. So
yeah, and the thing is, right, let's not forget the actual store managers or the boutique managers, whatever you want to call them, control the inventory. So if you're dealing with a new sales associate there, normally if they don't know you, one of the sort of newest member, the newest sales associate, will come up to you and do his fact find, get you on the waiting list. But if you're dealing with the manager, a lot of the time, Alex, yeah, he likes you. There is a possibility. I'm hearing a lot of more positiveness. People getting their watches now. Finally, they're not going to walk in, but I'm hearing some positive stories for a change. I mean, I managed to get a sub 41 from the AD. I know it's a bit different. I recruit for them. I've got one for myself and my son, which is pretty much unheard of, but it happens.
well, look, I mean, there's one particular AD I wanted to buy a watch off, but they declined me because I know certain individuals on YouTube. So what do you say to that? I mean, that's an issue. But my AD that I know, from the get-go, they know my business. They know that, in a sense, I'm not really competing against them. I do service Rolex watches and use original movement parts, and I give extended warranties up to 3 years, maybe 4 to 6 years, depending on on what option they choose. But I don't, they know that my business is non-authorized by Rolex, but I'm not like, I don't ever disrespect them. I've even walked clients to ADs if they were interested in buying a watch from an AD or even a repair. I'll say, look, you know, I'm actually, I would suggest you use so-and-so from, you know, and they'll, oh, thank you, Alex. And then they'll actually mention to the AD that I put them on. Now, I'm not saying that I need to tell them that, but I don't see any problem with giving them work if I can't help them, rather than go, oh, you get out of it. So I don't see the point of being so negative towards ADs. There's no positivity.
Well, I don't think we've got anything to gain, because that's the plant is you can tell I've had a few whiskeys, mate. I can't even get the words out tonight. But the seed is planted at the AD, right? Then they get filtered out to the grey dealers as such. I mean, look, the thing is, in terms of what you do, Alex, as a watchmaker, it's a bit different in the fact that you're not a grey dealer. You're someone that can actually work for the ADs and the grey dealers. You're in a very unique position. You're currently doing that at the moment, Alex, as well. Fraser Hart.
Yeah.
You partnered up with a few grey dealers as well.
Yeah.
You work with the public. You do business to consumer, business to business. You know, you're quite in a unique position, and that they probably see you in higher regards than say some of the grey dealers, unfortunately. But it's not to say, you know, there's good and bad grey dealers out there, Alex. Yeah? You know, it's got some people I know that are absolutely fantastic at what they do.
We just had a grey dealer on the National Crime Agency Instagram, for God's sake. That's not good news. It previously been caught out on HMRC, for God's sake. There's another particular person that's been on HMRC as well. Look, if you are adamant you want to buy from a particular grey dealer, that's no problem. But at least just do the free homework, which is checking them on Company's House.
Yeah.
I mean, you would do that for other
that's what I do, Alex. Yeah. If I'm going to work with any of my clients, they have to pass a credit check, especially if they're a new business. They're not going to have a credit history. So a lot of the time, I'd probably want to get the money up front, to be honest with you, before I start working with them. In regard, but it's a different industry, different method, you know. But I think next year, by the summer, we're going to get a lot of the questions answered, what everyone's been asking us about, Alex, to be fair.
I think in the 3 to 4 years that we're going to see now, we're going to see what's going to happen on the side of the Rolex pre-owned market, as in the official Rolex pre-owned. And I've mentioned this quite a few times before. Rolex are going to be selling their own watches. That means they're going to have incentives for you. I don't care what anyone says. Grey dealer is not going to be able. The only thing the grey dealer could do is maybe price out. I don't know. But they're going to incentivize massively. That's the way they're going to do it. Do you know what I mean, Dee? There's going to be things that an official, that an AD can do that a grey dealer can't. That's just being honest.
Yeah. Everyone has to up their game now. Even the ADs, because they're going to be competing against the other ADs that are going to have this pre-owned certification next year, Alex. It's going to be competition all round. It's only good for the consumer. That's how I see it now, because there's going to be that reassurance.
I don't think Rolex are bothered about how much money grey dealers earn. I think it's more of they just want to control the market. I don't think it's.
But Alex, they already do, Alex. They already control the market. This is just another thing they've added, you know, to their weaponry, which was on the cards, and it just happens that the timing is perfect, to be honest with you. Just when, you know, the luxury watch brands needed a little bit of a push to retain the market value, they've come out and they've launched their prices very high. I could see the ADs dipping or price matching other ADs on the used market. I think that's where we're going, and it's very early days, Alex. I mean, let's not forget, all the ADs have been selling pre-owned now for about a decade, and it's gone under the radar, to be honest with you. Even Ernest Jones have been selling pre-owned in the UK?
Look, if a company can manage to, I've said this hundreds of times, manage to go from getting a discount in an AD to not being able to get a discount and having to have a waiting list and then having to buy from a non-authorized AD at a higher price, that takes some organization, dude.
Yeah.
That takes some organization. So why would they not be able to control a certain amount of the pre-owned market? They're already controlling services. So let's say that I mentioned on the Horology Dungeon a few hours ago, if let's say a company called, I don't know, We Buy Any Rolex decides to send their watch to Rolex, they'll just decline it. So we're not doing it. They are not willing to do work for grey dealers. And if you have your watch polished, if you have your watch badly polished, they will just void the warranty, or they'll just say, we're not willing to do it. They're just that's what's happening. So now they're positioning their own people for the straightforward for the service work, and grey dealers, they're starting to just. I know companies that have got watches that just sat there doing nothing because they can't get the parts.
It's all going in house, Alex. You can see I did my advertising campaign was going on for about 6-7 months before this kicked in. So it was a 6-7 month plan. The valuers, the watchmakers, there must have been about just under 300 requirements for these guys to join the ADs. And there's a lot of people going out. The watchmakers will be sent out to Rolex and get some sort of use certification, and then come back to the UK and then start implementing training the other people that work as watchmakers there as well. So a lot of the guys working for some of the grey dealers are going to struggle to get parts. I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle, Alex, to be fair, but
yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
I'm riding the wave because I know that wave is just going to be, it's just not going to be there anymore. And I'm lucky enough, fortunate enough, my stuff right, that I'm getting parts at the moment because things are becoming very, very difficult, even for accredited Rolex watchmakers. They are putting them on levels, so they're not allowed to order certain parts unless they have this equipment or have done this training. And there's even been times where I've actually sourced parts for accredited watchmakers because of sports parts. For instance, I've been asked to get a helium escape valve for a sea dweller. Now you have to be on a certain level as an AD to get that part. That's the problem. They put you on different levels. So one day I'm sure I'm not going to be able to get any parts. Before anyone says anything, I do not get my parts from the UK. So I'm not getting any watchmakers in trouble in the UK.
I won't mention his name, Alex, but there was a guy who's been in the game for about 28 years, a watchmaker, and Rolex know him very well. And for the first time ever, he's been refused parts, even though he's Rolex accredited.
Well,
so these are, and he's now saying to me, D, I want to jump ship and go and work for an AD, or I go start up my own workshop. How this is going to work? But obviously, my sort of narrative is go and work for one of my clients, and I get a fee out of you, and then you've got solid work. But it's quite hard coming from a grey dealer, then going working with an AD. Total different setup, different level of professionalism. But Alex, you've got one of the most impressive workshops I've seen. But in comparison to some of the other guys, you can't compare what you've got in-house. They just don't have the equipment you have, Alex, to be fair.
No. I mean, I've got official Rolex equipment because there was one company that unfortunately lost their authorized dealership. So I jumped on straight away and I bought it's like 2 goldfish bowl looking vacuum testers and then a condensation tester and all the technical data and pressure testers. And I spent a lot of money A lot of money. So I basically equip my workshop as if it is an authorized dealer workshop, because I thought if I'm going to do it, then I'm going to do it properly. But what I've done is I like to think I've always tried to I won't say I've been ahead. I'm not going to be that arrogant, but I've always tried to evolve. So with people now finding certain parts of this business hard, I give extended warranties or the perpetual care. So I'll look after people's watches for so many years and charge a fee, which is much cheaper than actually going with an AD.
Mm-hmm. Well, your prices are competitive. I'm sure the price is going to go up in the new year for servicing as usual, just with inflation. It's going to be an all-round, Alex. I think you'll find a lot more people come to you. I think you'll have a lot more great dealers want to partner up with anyone that can get the parts, Alex. This is going to be the key. But it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out and what the used market, the used specialists, what they start pushing, what brands they'll start pushing, Alex, because I think Rolex are really taking everything in house. It's a bit like, can you imagine even someone like Quick Fit, which everyone knows they do services and MOTs for cars in the UK. Can you imagine them not being able to get BMW brake pads or Mercedes service packs?
Well,
you know what I mean?
It did happen at one point. If you remember, some years ago, the car market tried to do the same with official car market. Sorry, like BMW and all these other companies, they tried to restrict their parts, but then there was a clause.
That's why Euro car parts came along. I remember Euro car parts came along and did a replica service packs.
Yeah, so Euro car parts. So we have Cousins Material House, which is the equivalent of Euro car parts. So we have so Cousins Material House is basically now online. Used to be by phone. You could order certain parts or even generic parts. Obviously, if you fit generic parts, you need to tell the customer. However, there is companies that fit generic parts and don't say anything. Big companies, by the way. Which is difficult because the Rolex generic parts, movement parts, are very difficult to tell now. Very difficult. The only way you know is actually from the packaging they come in. Some of them are very, very difficult.
So there's going to be a lot of more of that going on now, Alex. Let's be honest.
Big market.
There's got watchmakers out there that I've dealt with when I'm recruiting for the ADs, and when I get references and so on, because it's such a small industry, they're like, nope, don't use that guy. He will just source any parts he can find and put it in the watch. Most of the watches he services or he repairs end up being Franken watches because he gets the watch back to them very quickly. Wrong hands, wrong crown, he'll just do anything. He doesn't really advise the customer. He just says, look, if you want this done, I'll do it for you. You want it to look like new? Leave it with me. But it won't look like the original watch afterwards. There's a lot of those guys out there that are just trying to make as much money as they can. But obviously, from a watch enthusiast, a watch collector's point of view, these are the guys you'd probably want to avoid. 100%.
Well, I mean, look, if you buy from like eBay in America, you'll find there's a lot of like the old Rolex Datejots that have had sapphire conversions and fake bracelets and non-original diamond dials. This has always been a concern. And then they have to pay the tax and duty when it comes into the country, and people don't realize that. And that's why it's always best to have the watch checked prior, if it's possible. And don't forget, if you're buying from Facebook and all these other people, you don't know what you're buying if you're not having it checked prior. Yeah. We offer that service where we check the watch prior and we hold the watch until transactions are made. I've spoken about this many, many times because everyone tries to go for the cheapest Rolex. This is something that I just don't get why people do that. And it might be £300-400 cheaper, but they're willing to buy off somebody that has there's not even on company's house fee. Does that make any sense to you?
Look, you're really buying it from a private seller, right? So this is when something what you offer, your service really comes to play is that you'll check the authenticity. That we may not have access to the lost and stolen Rolex database, but you can still check it on the watch register. You could just do anything you can in terms of what's available to you. And because I run the Facebook groups, we've got nearly 100,000 followers in there, and all I've got just guidance and rules in the group, and say to the guys, look, if you are going to buy from so and so in the group, talk to Alex or talk to someone else that does something similar in your country, yeah, and maybe go to a lost and stolen, or just do your checks, because last thing I want to hear is got the watch, it's a replica, it's a Franken, or that guy stole my money or whatever. I haven't heard from him since, and they come back to me. So I've tried to implement some sort of rules or a guideline that relieves me of the responsibility of that, if that makes sense, Alex. Yeah, because by the way, I had the message from Facebook saying to me that we've got too many followers in our group. Can you believe it?
You got too many followers.
Too many followers. You know the diverse Facebook watch addiction. We've got over 100,000. I think they want to reduce it or charge some sort of licensing fee. Facebook's become terrible. I remember a time when I could even advertise my vacancies, my jobs for the watch industry for free. Now it's a sponsored job advert. Everything you have to pay for. So as soon as you get to a certain size, your Facebook group, they want to get a piece of the pie. Ridiculous, mate.
No, it's nuts.
We've got Greggy Boy in the house as well. Evening, fellas. Happy New Year.
How's Greggy Boy?
Nice. Greggy Boy, you're welcome to jump on. Anyone's welcome to jump on, right, Alex?
Of course. Don't forget, Dee. Got time travel here.
Fantastic.
Because they say now, which is what we're talking about, guys. This is what I actually give these. Not this one. This is a 3. This is a 3 holder. This one.
Nice.
I give those
away
for a service. So any services above, I think, is it 600 or 700, they get a free one, a free single.
Alex.
Yeah.
I've just noticed in the chat, someone said there's no link. Do you want to add the link?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. Let me add the link.
More the merrier, because I'm hanging here. I've been drinking at home from about 6 o'clock. Oh. Menos.
But on a serious note, these are great. These time travels. I'm not being paid by them, so I don't get paid money or all this.
They're quite a refreshing. They're the couple, husband and wife that run. They just seem to be really nice, genuine people, really passionate for what they do. They were great seeing them at World Time as well. To be fair, they were cool guys, really cool. I expect mine in the post next week.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm reading Tim Jacks. He sent us a message earlier. I like Porsche. More expensive than the cheap Porsche Rolex. I mean, Porsche did that. They took their surface packs off the market, and that Euro Car Parts cheekily did a Porsche service pack, Alex. So can you imagine? You got like you got I remember a friend of mine had the old 911, just the standard. It wasn't like Carrera S or anything, and he couldn't really afford to have a Porsche, and he was buying the Euro Car Part service pack, and he had the catalytic converter went, and he had to change the exhaust pipes and everything, and the Euro Car Parts exhaust system just didn't fit properly. Yeah. So even when it was stationary, it had the terrible rattle because the whole exhaust system would just like hit the actual chassis of the car. It was just a nasty sound, mate. But he did save himself $3,000. He got it for 1,500 quid.
Well, look, buying a cheap Rolex reminds me of when you go into auto trade and you always see those like SL 500s or like about 10 years old, 20 years old, and they go for peanuts. And the reason why they go for peanuts is because they're so old and they're so expensive to maintain. You know,
yeah, but you know what? Some of those old AMGs now, I had a CLK 63 AMG years ago, and when I decided to let it go,
Why did you let it go,
You know,
Dee?
I let it go for because I was having a baby. You know,
Yes,
it's not a sort of car you
I can
you know,
imagine.
drive around with the miss. It did its job anyway, but it's not a family car,
What
right?
job did it
And
do?
sorry,
What job did it
it
do?
just is like, you know, like Borat said, "They're pussy magnet." It was oh man, I had a good time in that car. It was a good car, but it was a lovely car. But then I bloody got I got an E-Class 350 diesel,
Oh, yeah.
the newer shape, and just wasn't life was never the same after that. But now that car, it makes me sick because it's a modern classic now. The prices went up. So if you're gonna find like one that's been maintained properly, they're even restoring. You know, Hexagon cars, they had
Yeah.
one for like 40 grand
Wow,
with
really?
like 35,000 miles on the clock, and because they're collectible now, pillarless windows.
I used to have a smart car years ago, and I had it all like detailed, you know, with my business.
Oh yeah,
And I was on the
were the wheels
deliverable.
sitting really low, Alex, because of your weight, the bodybuilder in the smart car?
I was on the phone like this while I was in the traffic, and the police stopped me and they pulled me over. And he's there giving me a ticket. He says, "Oh, by the way, there's a spelling mistake on one of your." I thought, "You fucker," and there was as well. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, a bit
Well,
of
they don't pay
fun.
you to do administration, Alex. They pay you to service and repair watches. So tell him.
That's right. Yep. I couldn't believe that. That was embarrassing. Not only was it embarrassing getting caught in your phone, but embarrassing to find, spelling mistake.
I can only
Yeah.
imagine you in a smart car, Alex. That is hilarious, mate.
Oh, listen, those smart. Do you know what? It it gets when you drive a smart car, it's quite claustrophobic, but you get used to it. And I tell you what, there's a lot of space in a smart car. You'd be
I'll tell you
surprised.
what, I found my first car was a Fiat Punto. It was a 1.1 and it was like no power steering, had a sunroof. But even when I had even a sound system in the car, the actual bodywork looked like it had stretch marks in it. I'm not even joking. It's like a tin. And I remember I was out on a date and she was trying to wind down the window. I went across to wind it down and the actual lever fell off. It was really badly made, to be honest with you. But these were the good old times, mate, when I was like 17,
Yeah.
18 years old.
Look,
The years have just gone by.
my smart car was like 600 or 700 cc. So I went from that to then that 6.1 V8, So I went
Mhm.
from one extreme to the other.
That's a big step up, Alex. Was it like the Hemi engine you had in that car, right?
Yeah, Hemi 6.1 V8, and
Five point.
I had it so I had the engine chipped, and then I had the cats taken out, had straight piping, and then I
Wow.
had
So you modified it, right?
I modified
Vin
it, and then
Diesel of watchmaking.
yeah, and then
Fast and Furious.
I had it all every chrome part had it blacked out, every chrome
You love
part with
black, don't
no
you?
chrome on it, and then I had it grey matted, had it all matte grey.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good fun.
So really, if you weren't doing the watches, you could have been the Yanamize of cars.
Yeah, and look Greek.
Yeah.
Sorry.
To be fair, I know Yanni really well. That guy that wraps those cars. He used to live near me, and he used to run a car. He used to wash my car. That guy, believe it or not, he had the
Did
car
it?
wash place before. He had the milkshake, had the chicken shop. I used to go there every week before I'd go out to get my car washed. And yeah, he was a grafter. He always was a grafter. I'll give him that.
Well, look, a lot of the Greek Cypriots, they're known for like. I think I can. I'm not being biased, but I think they are pretty hard-working people, Greek Cypriots, and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
I will say this as well with the crime. You don't really hear any. I don't know of any Greeks that are like getting convicted of. I don't.
You still got
I'm not.
time, Alex. You still got time.
I'm just saying, it's always. But I never hear of any Greeks that ever get themselves in like some serious crime or like
Well, well, in Cyprus, you're not going to hear about any crime because they can't be bothered to report it, Alex, right?
Yeah,
You
but
know,
listen,
he never killed him. It's
it's
okay.
minors,
He's
right?
still
What
alive.
are they going to do? You know, it's a little
Sorry?
island. Well, what can they? It's not. They can't really rob a bank in Cyprus, can you? Where are you going to
Well, I
go?
think that you don't need to rob them because the Greek Cypriot bank managers have robbed it themselves.
Yeah, they
The
have. Yeah,
guys that work there.
when they frozen all their assets, well, they froze all their money and took a
I'll
percentage.
tell you a story though. I nearly did get robbed at a bank when I walked into a bank after I got married. And I had the Greeks, they give you money and stuff, right? Go to the bank and the woman gives the receipt back, and I realized, like, hold on, this is not the money we put in. So went back in screaming and shouting, oh, sorry, we made a mistake. If I walked out, there would have been no way of me proving that I put that money into the bank, Alex. You know what I mean? So it happens
Yeah,
right
yeah,
under our
yeah.
noses in the UK as well. So
Yeah. Well, my father framed a check on the wall because he went to pay. Instead of putting pounds and pences, he put bananas and oranges, and it went through.
bloody hell.
And the bank manager, he showed the bank manager, and the bank manager said, "Listen, Mr. Foti, please don't go to the papers, or please don't show that because that's embarrassing." He didn't. He just
Yeah,
framed.
nothing. Everything is reported in a bank, right? If they have any issues or any suspicious actions but anything they do never comes out. And it's never reported in the press, Alex. Have you ever heard anything about a staff member doing something wrong? They just don't want the publicity. They just sort of like pay them off. They even give them references, right? And they move them on.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that. No, I didn't.
I know this because one of my guys that used to work for me was doing finance recruitment. And we were just finding the references would come back good. And when we spoke to someone in the industry, like someone off the record, they will be like, no, this guy stole from us. But we just moved him on. And we still give him a good reference. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how does that work? Because they want to avoid the embarrassment. They don't want to they give them the option, right? You either, if you're going to deny it, then we will take legal action, or you can just move on and we just cut our relationship right then and there. So they give them the option to leave, even despite they've done the crime.
Well, I've got a really serious question for you.
Yeah, go on.
You got to think about this one.
Well, I've had a few drinks, so I wouldn't take it for gospel what I'm going to say to this question.
Are you ready for this one, right?
Go on.
Shall I get one Big Mac or two Big Macs after the show?
Benny Benz, with his nonsense.
I'm serious.
You could be getting Burger King there at least tonight.
Burger King? No, I don't like Burger King.
Do you know, I prefer Burger King, mate. Yeah, Whopper meal.
No, I don't like. No, they put those awful onions and what? No, I don't like Burger King.
You don't like onions?
No, I'm not really into onions. It depends on how the onions are cooked.
So when you get your kebab, when they put the parsley and the gromidi, the onion, you don't like that?
It depends on how it's cooked. Like shiftaliers, there's onions in shiftaliers.
But even in the pita bread, you put the onions, the parsley, the tomato,
the lemon juice, Ray. The lemon juice. If you put lemon juice, right?
Yeah.
And then if you really got to fry the hell out of the onions.
Mm-hmm. We have to agree to disagree on this one.
No, but the shiftaliers, they have
that's what it's cooked in the.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Oh man, I could have some shiftaliers now.
Oh, I'm disappointed tonight because my son's got like a flu bug. My parents are ill. Everyone's ill. And I told everybody, look, just to give you a heads up, my son, he's got a fever. He's not feeling well. No one's. I said, okay, don't worry about it. We'll see you another year. No need to come round tonight. You know what I mean, Alex? So it's like, yeah, I've been drinking alone with the missus. But it's all
KFC
good.
bucket ready. I might just do a KFC bucket.
Yeah. Family bucket.
Yeah. Do you eat the skin or do you take it off?
You've got to eat the skin, mate.
Yeah.
I even squeeze lemon on mine.
Nothing wrong with a bit of bed size, is there?
Nothing wrong. That's where all the proteins and the vitamins are in there. That's the good stuff. That you don't need. Listen, mate. You don't even need to have chips. You can have just the fat and the meat. You don't need the chips. You'll be all right.
I remember my dad got one of those, Soleros ice creams. He had about 3 or 4 in about 10 minutes. In there, but light, right, Alex? No, in there. Very light this ice cream. No, nothing in there, eh? That's all.
So, what have we got planned for next year, Alex? We've got a lot of plans, really, haven't we? To be fair, things that have been implemented already. It's a matter of just getting the ball rolling, get it going. So, what are we going to be doing? Streaming, Alex, more often than I take it next year.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually bought a camera. I've not even used it yet for my workbench. So actually, I think it sits quite high up in it. So it'll be quite high up, but it zooms really focused into the movements. So I'm hoping I've not fitted it, but I'm hoping because it's recommendation of another watchmaker that I can use it while live streaming, so you can actually see everything. You can see what I'm doing. Which is a bit scary, to be honest, because that means that you'll see absolutely everything. So if I mess up, you're going to see it.
Well, we don't want to see everything, mate. What you're up to? We'll leave that to your private life, mate. But God, we're going to be watching Alex in high definition, 4K.
Yeah,
it's going to be fun.
I'll be trimming my beard on it.
We've got Bufaris in the house as well. Hello, Bufaris. Big fat bag Ben. Hello, everybody. Bufaris, why don't you join us, my friend? It's been a long time. Tonight, it's not a serious show. It's just a relaxing. I was going to say like Netflix and chill, but that's not what it is. This is just a gentleman's hangout.
Gentleman's hangout, like JJ's.
Yes.
His stream is really good if you ever watch it.
Well, I like JJ. He's a top bloke. I like his streams.
Yeah.
He's very knowledgeable, isn't he, JJ?
Very knowledgeable. Very, very knowledgeable.
Hey, Gabriel's in it?
Oh, no. Don't think so. Yeah, maybe his bloodline is, but like O'Sheen. O'Sheen looks great there.
Yeah, he's a funny character.
I think he's Greek and he doesn't realise it.
He looks like my uncle, Angelos Hajibavli.
Haji Bavli.
And he's a world famous bouzouki player. And he's like a guitarist. I was like, you couldn't make this stuff up.
So what you got planned for next year? I mean, I want to do more. I'll be doing more. I've got more YouTube videos in the pipeline. I've got the Rolex Daytona, which is almost like a £6,000 restoration. I've got a gentleman that's got a mapping watch, which no company is willing to restore or work on, and I've managed to take it on, which was given to him by his father who passed away. So it's a very, very sentimental piece. I've got a few more reviews to do. So that it's quite a lot that I've got in the pipeline. You know, and I want to try and separate myself from the work because I just think certain YouTubers, it's all about them.
Yeah. You know what I mean? If you notice in my videos, Alex, it's not about me, it's about the watches. It's not about, people know who I am now because I'm actually going on live streams. If that makes sense. People don't really know, they hear the voice, but they don't know who I am, what I look like. But for me, next year, obviously, as you're probably aware of, I'm going to be doing a lot more with Tudor, official Tudor releases with them. So that's going to be good. I'm going to do a Tudor video takeover on the channel, which is going to be good. Working with a few brands that I'm an ambassador of. I've got obligations there. There's a few other things in the pipeline that they're 99.9% confirmed with another sort of big player in the watch world, where we're going to be doing like multimedia partnership as such. So there'll be a lot more content. You'll be involved with that as well, Alex, which will be great. And continue just doing new releases, brands that maybe not everyone's heard of. Like the Simia that I did. This was a really cool watch that came in on the channel.
I really like that piece. It's got a glass back on it, yeah?
Yeah, let me show you that.
It's an ETA, right?
Yeah.
So that's the ETA bolter. It's the ETA bolter mechanism, I'm sure it is. Or
yes, the retrograde has been bolted on, right? But I'm going to try and bring a lot more of these brands, the independent Swiss brands in, because everyone's heard of Chapek and Laurent Ferré, but there's loads of those brands in Switzerland, guys, that are doing what they're doing. The competition is quite fierce, so you'll see a lot more brands like that are introduced to the UK, and hopefully bring them through to some of the events as well.
Yeah.
Get them to exhibit over here so people can get to feel them, touch them, caress them, smell them. This is the brand that had trouble getting the croc in, Alex, through FedEx.
Yeah. Well, that's always been a problem, though. So some countries are really strict on it, but the UK is strict on it, especially the fact that we're not in the EU anymore. So it's just things. Everything gets delayed. It's frustrating.
I'll be doing a lot more with these guys now. The Venezianica.
Yeah, Venezianica. Yeah, they're nice. They're nice watches.
Yeah,
for the money as well.
Yeah, they're doing their new. Well, it's not technically a new in-house movement. Did you see that movement that I sent you, Alex? There's two movements they're going to be using. I can't remember now.
It's a movement, isn't it?
Yeah, Soulprod. Yeah, but I know they're not amazing, but for the price,
They're not bad.
£600 to £1,000 watches, you can't go wrong, really.
Well, we've been on for almost 51 minutes now, so we're going to wrap up because I have bought a rocket for my son.
Nice.
And I need to start gluing. And on the actual tube of the rocket, I'm thinking of putting Hellas. What do you think, Dee?
Fantastic. Well, look, I'm surprised you're not going to put Alexander the Great.
No, that's for another rocket. So it's gonna. So as it goes up, you'll just see Hellas, and then the parachute comes down in the middle of South Wales. What do you think?
Yeah, well, mate,
as long as I don't put Hezbollah, we should be all right.
Well, anyway, guys, I want to wish you guys a happy new year. Thank you for your support this year. Sorry, it was an unannounced live stream. We've got Mr. GMT in the house as well. Keep it sexy, brother. Everybody that's watching. And we look forward to seeing you guys in the new year.
Take care, guys.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.